welcome to your upper body flexibility flow to help open your upper back, shoulders, and your chest. For this class, you will be needing one yoga strap, and if you don't have a strap, you can always substitute with a shirt, a towel, belt, or even a scarf, really anything that you might have laying around at home. And we'll also be using 2 yoga blocks, which I highly encourage purchasing if you don't have any. I really find that they're helpful in my own practice. So we're going to go ahead and get started in a seated position. So sitting on the ankles and bringing the hips directly above the heels. Place the hands on top of your thighs. And we're just going to begin with a simple warm-up with the spine. So starting with seated cats and cows. So as you inhale, go ahead and press the chest forward, draw the belly down, bring the shoulders back as you lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, straightening out the arms, draw the chin to the chest. Inhale, bend the elbows, draw the shoulders back, chest and belly forwards. Exhale, round through the spine, draw the shoulder blades apart. And then inhale, lift the chest. See if you can really grip the knees with your palms to get a deeper stretch in the upper back. Good. As you exhale, round through the spine. And then inhale, lift the gaze, open the heart. Keep moving here a few more times. Really exaggerating the movement, so making sure the upper back stays nice and rounded. And then think of drawing the low belly down towards the earth as you lift the tailbone. Two more rounds here. Good. Come back to a neutral spine. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead, palms come to touch. Think of drawing the navel in towards the spine to engage the abdominals. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bend the elbows into cactus arms. Draw the shoulder blades together. And then inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch, finding a straight spine. As you exhale, interlace the fingers behind your back, draw the palms together, straighten out the elbows. As you inhale, press the fists down towards the ground as you lift your chest up towards the sky, getting a nice stretch in the deltoids. Breathing here. And then release your grip as you inhale, reach the arms back up, palms touch, straight spine. Exhale, cactus the arms, really draw the elbows back, retracting the shoulder blades. Good. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind your back. As you inhale, draw the chest up towards the sky. Releasing your grip as you inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale one last time, cactus the arms, really lifting up through the upper back. Reach the arms back up. And then interlace the hands behind the low back. Big inhale as you draw the fists down, straightening out the elbows, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, release, coming back to center, planting the hands down, coming onto all fours, tabletop position. From here, just make sure that the hips stay stacked directly above the knees. We're going to walk into extended puppy pose. So walking the fingers forward, you can tuck the toes here. And then extend the arms forward, releasing the forearms to the ground, releasing the forehead to the ground here. Hips are lifted up high, pressing really firmly into the palms here. So you're thinking of drawing the belly towards the thighs and drawing the chest down towards the ground. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Deep breaths here. Now to take the stretch a little bit deeper, you can bring the chin onto the mat. Maybe walking the fingers forward slightly to get your chest closer to the ground, and then press firmly into the palms to lift the elbows up, and you'll feel the deeper stretch here in the shoulders. Good. Draw the elbows back down and then sink the hips down towards the ground, coming into Sphinx pose. Make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders here. Forearms are parallel, fingers facing forward, pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing into the forearms to lift your chest, lift your gaze. Now from here, I'd like you to imagine that you're dragging the palms back towards the back of the mat. And you'll feel your chest start to push forward through the shoulders here, getting a deeper stretch in the upper back. From here, release your forehead to the ground, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows in, coming into baby cobra. So as you inhale, press into the palms, lift the forehead, the chest, and the belly up off of the ground. Keep the elbows hugging in towards your midline. Pressing into the tops of the feet. And then as you exhale, release, bring your forehead back down to the ground. We'll do that 2 more times, pressing into the palms. Lift yourself up, maybe straightening out the elbows or keeping them bent, so whatever feels good for you here. Glutes are slightly engaged to protect the low back. Exhale to slowly release, bending the elbows, bring your forehead to the ground. One last time here. Inhale to press into the palms, lift your chest, lift the gaze. Seeing if you can straighten out the arms here, maybe releasing your head back. If you'd like, you can bend the right knee, reaching the toes for the crown of the head. Release the right foot, bend the left knee, pointing the left toes. Release the left foot back down, bring your forehead to your mat, and then gently rest the fingers along the base of the skull. Allow the elbows to point outwards. We're going to come into 10 rounds of Shalabhasana to work on strengthening the upper back as we work on finding our flexibility. So as you inhale, go ahead and peel the forehead, peel the chest up off of the ground. 10. Lower back down. Inhale, lift for 9. Exhale, lower. Inhale, 8. Exhale. Inhale, 7. 6. 5. 4. Feel the upper back muscles engaged. 3. 2. Pressing into the tops of the feet. One last time. And 1. Release the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift yourself up, coming into cobra pose. Exhale, bend the elbows. Come back onto the knees. Sink the hips back, coming into child's pose. Rest your forehead on the ground. Take 3 deep breaths here. On your next breath, lift yourself up into tabletop pose. Next, we're going to come into Ashtanga Namaskara, also known as 8-point shoulder opener or knees, chest, chin. So go ahead and lower your chest and your chin to the mat. Knees are on the mat, hips are lifted. As you inhale, slide the hips down, hands underneath the shoulders as you lift yourself up for cobra. Exhale, press into the palms, sink the hips back, child's pose. We'll do this a few more times. Coming through tabletop, bend the elbows, Bring your chin and chest to the mat. Inhale, slide forward, baby cobra, lift the gaze. And exhale, lower, press into the palms, sink back, child's pose. Good. Inhale to lift yourself up, tabletop pose, knees, chest, chin. Hips are lifted. Big breath in as you slide forward into cobra. Press into the palms, lift yourself up, maybe straightening out the elbows. And then sink the hips back, child's pose. Good. One last time here. Lifting into tabletop, knees, chest, chin, hips are lifted. And sliding your hips down, lifting yourself up, baby cobra. Come back onto the knees. We're going to grab our blocks for these next few poses. So placing both of the blocks directly in front of you at the second highest height. Make sure they're placed about shoulder width distance apart. Coming onto the knees here. Making sure that the knees stay underneath the hips for this pose. And then we're going to bring the elbows and the triceps on top of the blocks. Press the palms together and then lower your chest down towards the mat. So let your head and neck hang in between the biceps. Try to keep a little bit of engagement in the elbows. So you're pressing into the elbows and the triceps. Keep actively pressing the chest down towards the ground, belly towards the thighs, and hips up. Breathing nice, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. You can draw the fingers down in between the shoulder blades if you'd like. Taking one last deep breath here. Good, then slowly lift yourself up by coming onto the palms and then sitting back on the ankles. If you need to shake out your shoulders here, feel free to do so. And then we're going to move into our next stretch. So this time we're going to place the palms on top of the blocks, keeping them at this height. Coming into a puppy pose variation, but of course using the blocks here. So pressing the palms into the block, lowering the chest down towards the ground, keeping the knees stacked underneath the hips. Relaxing the head and neck. Gazing down at the mat, feeling this deep stretch in the shoulders and the chest, maybe even in the back. Imagine that you're lifting the hips up and forwards. Take one more breath. Good. Then slowly lift yourself up, coming out of the pose, removing the blocks from the mat. Just take a few shoulder rolls here, maybe stretch out the neck. So go ahead and grab your strap or any prop that you might be using as a substitute in case you don't have a strap. And you want to make sure that your grip around your strap is wider than shoulder width, much wider actually, probably twice the size. I'll show you how I like to have the length of mine here. It's always better to start off longer and then you can always modify or change if you need to. But having the strap wider is going to make this easier for you. So for these next few stretches, make sure you keep your spine nice and straight. The only thing moving here is going to be your shoulders and your arms. So keep the navel drawn into the spine. Keep your core engaged. Now as you inhale, reach the strap up overhead and then draw the strap back down towards your heels. As you inhale, reach the strap back overhead, reaching it for the thighs. Good. So we're working on mobility of the shoulders here. It's really important when we work on flexibility that we work on strength and mobility as well. So as you inhale, reach the strap over, and as you exhale, the strap comes overhead. Pretty simple. Just make sure that you're keeping your spine nice and straight. The only thing moving should be your shoulders and your arms. We'll do a few more rounds here. Move as slowly as you'd like. There's no rush. Good. Come back to center. Roll out your shoulders if they're feeling the fire. I know mine were. And then from here, we're going to move into our next few stretches. So find the grip that you like. Remember, you can always adjust. I'm going to turn to face you so that I can show you these next stretches. So you want to bring one hand down and one hand up. And you're just going to do the same motion as before, drawing the strap overhead and then forwards. But this time you're keeping one hand down and the other hand lifted. So it doesn't matter which one you start off with, we'll be switching sides. Move really slowly through these stretches. For this one, you should feel it more in the hand that's lifted. So you should be feeling it in your shoulder, maybe the deltoid, the chest. Keeping the spine straight. And make sure that you're breathing. We'll do one more round. And then switch sides. So bringing the opposite hand down and the other hand lifted. Just bringing the strap up and over. You may find that one side feels tighter than the other, and this is pretty normal actually. So if you find that's the case for you, you can always do a few more stretches on whichever side feels tighter. And feel free to pause the video as well if you'd like to move at a slower pace. We'll do one more round here, and then gently release. Roll out your shoulders, shake it out, whatever you need to. We're going to extend the arms out wide, and then go ahead and cross the right arm over the body, hooking it with the left elbow. Extend the arms, left arm crosses, right arm hooks. Good. Gently release your arms, and we're going to move into our final stretch with the straps. So come into a comfortable seated position, and then reach the right arm overhead, bend the elbow, placing the right hand, the right palm in between the shoulder blades. From here, the left arm will lift, and you'll place the left palm on top of the right elbow, feeling a stretch in the shoulders. So this is called half Gomukhasana. Make sure you're breathing here. Spine is nice and tall. Coming into the full variation, you're going to release the left arm out wide with the thumb face down, and then bend the left elbow. Palm is going to be facing away from the body, coming in between the shoulder blades, reaching the fingers for each other, seeing if you can grip the hands here. If not, you can use your strap to assist you by reaching the strap with your right hands, and then reaching the left fingers for the strap. And you can use the strap here to decrease the length between the fingers, walking the fingers towards one another. Elbows are drawing away from each other. Take one more breath. And then gently release. Switching sides, so this time the left arm reaches up, bend the elbow, place the palm in between the shoulder blades, and then reach the right arm up, place the right palm on top of the left elbow. Pressing the elbow into the palm, feeling a stretch in the shoulder. And then moving into the full variation. So the right arm is going to extend out wide, thumb face down, palm face away from the body as you rest the right hand in between the shoulder blades, reaching the fingers for one another. If you can grip the hands here, great. If not, just go ahead and use your strap. Either way, you'll feel a really nice stretch in the shoulders. If you have your strap, you can walk the fingers closer towards each other. Again, spine is nice and tall. One last full breath. And then gently release. Place your strap to the side. Go ahead and roll onto hands and knees. Coming back into our tabletop pose, we're going to come back into our puppy pose with a few different variations and options to go deeper. So again, making sure the knees are underneath the hips. Go ahead and walk the hands forward, resting the forehead on the mat, or you can bring your chin to your mat if you feel like you're warm enough this time. Pressing the chest down towards the ground. Pressing into the palms and the forearms. You can tuck the toes here. Keep lifting the hips up high and breathe. So for this next variation, if you'd like a bit of a different sensation, you can lift yourself up and you're going to grip the outer edge of your yoga mat. From here, go ahead and sink the chest back down to the ground, maybe keeping the chin flat on the mat. Really using the outer edges of the mat to really grip and press the palms down. So you should feel a deeper stretch in the shoulders and the upper back. Good. Slowly lift yourself up by releasing your grip and pressing into the palms, coming back into tabletop pose. We're going to move into our final variation here. This is going to be an advanced variation where we try to lift the knees. So if you don't feel like you're quite ready for it yet, feel free to stay in puppy pose and work on your own variation. But I am going to go ahead and give you a few cues and guidance to come into this deep variation. So coming into puppy pose by pressing into the palms, keep your chin on the mat. Then from here, you're just going to slide forward so that your chest is directly on the mat. From here, tuck the toes if they're not tucked already. Press into the back of the toes to lift the knees. Now from here, your hips are going to be lifted up high. You're pressing into the palms, maybe coming up onto the fingertips. So the weight should be in the chin and the chest. Keep pressing into the toes. When you're ready, bring the knees back down, coming into knees, chest, chin. And then as you inhale, slide yourself forward, lowering the hips, lifting the chest for baby cobra. And then exhale, coming into child's pose. Sink the hips down towards the heels. Take a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, you can lift yourself up. We're going to go ahead and come into a few restorative stretches using the blocks, but still getting a really nice deep stretch in the upper back and the shoulders. So go ahead and place one block at the highest height at the top of your mat and the second block at the second highest height, just directly in front of it. You're going to use the block on the second highest height along the spine and in between the shoulder blades. And you're going to use the block at the highest height to rest your head on. So this shape is known as heart bench in yoga. It feels really good for releasing knots along the spine and the back. And it's a really great pose for opening the heart. You can extend the legs straight out in front of you, or you can come into butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You can rest the arms alongside your body or reach them up overhead if you'd like a deeper stretch. Feel free to close your eyes here. Take one last breath. Slowly draw the knees together if they were apart and lift yourself up. We're going to come into our second shape, a little bit deeper here. So you're going to place the second block that was at the second highest height at the highest height. Hopefully that makes sense. So the block that was along the spine is going to be the tallest block this time. And you're placing it just in between the shoulder blades. And then the other block is going to be at the second highest height, so it's going to be lower. And you're going to rest your head along this block. So this is a bit of a deeper stretch than the previous one we did. You'll feel this more in your mid-back. Reach the arms up overhead. You can keep the knees together or apart. Just focus on your breath here. Really just letting gravity do its work. Letting go of any tension, any tightness. Take 3 deep breaths here. If the knees are apart, slowly draw them back together. Place your hands on top of your knees and gently lift yourself up. I'm going to show you one final really deep stretch you can use with the blocks, placing one block at the lowest height and the other one right on top at the highest height. Sit your hips as close to the blocks as you can, and you're going to lean back on top of the block. So the block should be placed again in between the shoulder blades, really getting into the upper back. If it's comfortable for you, you can release the head back and grip the hands to opposite elbows. And you can always keep the chin tucked into the chest if you find that it's too deep or it's not comfortable to release your head back. I usually hold this pose for only a few breaths as I find it can be really intense, but it's great for opening up the chest and shoulders. Slowly lift yourself back up by placing the hands on top of the knees. And then go ahead and remove the blocks off of the mat, but keep one close nearby. We're going to lay all the way down onto the spine, setting up for a supported bridge pose. So feet are hip width distance apart, And then go ahead and place one block at the lowest height directly underneath the sacrum or the low back. So you want to make sure your low back is completely supported here. If you'd like a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can bring the block at the second highest height. So just play around with it, find whatever feels best for you. Release the arms overhead or alongside the body. From here, we're going to extend the legs straight out in front, coming into what's called pontoon pose in Yin Yoga. And again, just allowing gravity to do its work here. You should feel a nice release in the low back. Breathing deeply. And then once you're ready, you can bend the knees. Reach the arms alongside the body to release the prop from underneath you. And then just hug the knees into the chest. Rock yourself up to come into a comfortable seated position. So that ends our upper body flexibility flow. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. We'll bring our hands to heart center, and together we'll bow our heads. Namaste. I hope to see you in the next class soon, and enjoy the rest of your day.